All righty, welcome back. We are going to talk now with Manny Navarro. Yes, sir. We're going to talk a little Canes football or Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. We do it every week with Manny, normally on Tuesdays, by the way, but this time we're doing it a little different now because of my setbacks this week. Manny was kind enough to accommodate us and join us now. Manny, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, oh. I'm actually sitting here in, I guess, the convention center here in downtown Indianapolis. We had our meetings, our college football meetings with folks from the Athletic. I'm sitting next to Chris Perkins, my buddy from the Athletic who covers the Dolphins. So things are going good, man. How are you?
So you guys are there the same week of the combine?
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, he's only here. It's between maybe for a few hours. He's flying home tonight. So I'm getting here and he's leaving. So.
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. Good stuff, man. What are you guys doing there? What are you covering with the Canes there?
Well, I mean, obviously they got there's 8 guys here at the combine working out, trying to impress scouts, etc. But I'm not so much focused on that. I'm more here for the meetings with the people from college football. Perk was here for the combine, check out the workouts and do some interviews with players who were meeting with the media. So just a busy time, man. It's like Indianapolis is sort of the perfect place to be this week for football people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, man. So what's the buzz there for Tua? What are you feeling since you've been there?
Well, I'm gonna ask Perk. What's been the buzz for Tua, man? Maybe I'll get you on for a guest appearance here.
Yeah.
You should tell him.
Put on the Perkmeister. Put on the Perkmeister. Let me see what the Perkmeister says. How about that? We get Manny and Perk in the same interview. That is just that's double bonus right there, baby. How you doing, Perk?
I'm doing well, man. I'm recovering from knee replacement surgery a month ago. I hope you're doing well, man, with the kidney stone.
Yeah, well, the kidney stone I passed on Monday, but then I was getting a gout attack at the same time, and I thought the pain was from the kidney stone. But then when the stone passed, and I go to my wife, hey, the kidney pain is gone. We passed the stone, but I still got a lot of pain on my hip and what's going on here? And I realized that since it's all what's it called, uric acid related, I got screwed.
Yep.
I also got gout, so I'm still recovering a little bit from my knee. My knee still hurts a little bit, but we're almost there, bro. We're almost 100%. We're good, bro. We fight through, bro. You know how I am. I ain't gonna stop.
Yep, I know how you are, man.
I ain't gonna stop.
Let me tell you something. Tua is doing better than both of us. So that tells how we're doing, doesn't it? But according to reports, and he was very optimistic and confident when he spoke on Tuesday. He said he expects to get full medical clearance on March 9th, and he expects to do his own pro day. He said he might not do the Alabama pro day, but he's going to do his own pro day. So he's apparently doing very well. He thinks, matter of fact, he said that he should be ready for OTAs and that he would definitely be ready for a season opener. So, Tua's doing better than both of us, man.
Yeah. That talk is cheap, and no NFL team is going to play him in week 1 with that hip not being healed up for a whole year at least. So that's where I have, he can say all he wants right now at this point. They can spin out all these positive things. The bottom line is what doesn't change is he's injury prone. And that's the part that's the part I can't get over. And I'm wondering, how do NFL teams get over that? Because look, man, nobody wanted Devontae Parker more than I did. And I knew he had some injuries in college. Well, it kept going in the NFL for 4 years. And it took his 5th year to have his most productive year because he was finally healthy. Yatil Green was a sack of injuries at the U. And those injuries, by the way, weren't nearly as serious as Tua, but he kept constantly breaking down in the NFL. There is a trend, Perk. It's really hard to, when you are injury prone, there's a good chance you're going to stay that way. So why would you think any different with this guy? That's the part I don't understand.
I'm not sure that teams think any different. He is a medical red flag. There's no doubt. But he's a quarterback, and he's a highly rated quarterback, and he's a quarterback who has won. And so teams are going to roll the dice on him How high that is, I don't know, but I would be surprised at this point if he's there at number 5. I think if the Dolphins want him, they're going to have to go up and get him. But things are as optimistic as possible, and I'm sure that's what every NFL team wanted to hear, and everybody believes that message. Look, NFL doctors put their hands on him. He said he got to the hospital at 10 a.m. and he didn't leave till 7:49 p.m. But we haven't heard any rumors of a team saying his hip doesn't feel right or his ankles don't feel right. No team is going to say it. You'd have to hear it on the down low, but we have not heard that yet. And so with that, I will pass the phone back over to your appointed guest, Manny Navarro. Good to talk to you, man.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. You are the best. So there you go. You get a little Tua feel for them. I know. It's awesome. Would you draft him at 5, Manny? Or would you trade up for him to 3, or would you draft him at 5? Which one of the two? Or would you not touch him at all is the third option in the top 5 picks?
Well, I think, look, the number one thing in football, man, for me, is a franchise quarterback. I still think this is the draft to do it. I mean, these guys, I think, are going to be, I don't know if they're Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but they're certainly going to be guys that I think have long careers in the NFL. And I think if you're Miami, if you just went through all this losing, get the franchise quarterback. That to me is the number one priority. You could always continue to build in the years to come. They're not going to make the playoffs next year. They're not going to go from what they just did this last season to being a contender in 1 year. This is a multi-year project, so they've got draft picks for next year. To me, if you got to use a couple first rounders to move up and get the franchise quarterback, do it. Is Tua that guy? Ultimately, I mean, I think so. I think he's probably the best quarterback in this draft. But you got the health questions, and I think ultimately the Dolphins doctors will make that determination. But to me, I think he's probably the best guy, and I'd say Joe Burrow is probably too. But to me, either one of those guys, you get them, they're the franchise quarterback that you need probably for the next decade.
So you're not going to be ripping them for trading up then?
I'm not, because again,
right.
they're not a year away from winning. This is a multi-year, rebuild, in my opinion. To really get to be good, it's a multi-year rebuild. And if you can get a franchise quarterback in the first round, that is really going to, be around for the next decade and lead you when you are good to wins and deep in the playoffs and maybe the Super Bowl, then that's what you do. I just think this is the year to get the quarterback.
Okay, I'm with you. Manny, what'd you think of the Canes baseball team after the weekend, man? It's sad that they got swept. Sucked, man.
Yeah, it sucks for them. Gino obviously did a good job closing the gap against Florida, but look, this Florida Gators baseball team just won national championship in 2017. They're continuing to recruit well. They're a good team. You went to extra innings twice. You lost 2 heartbreakers to them. It's going to happen. And this program still hasn't gotten to the point where it's turned the corner. That said, this is a long season, man. I mean, play 50-something, 60-something games in the regular season. They got plenty of time to turn this around, and maybe by the end of the season, they're a better team than Florida is, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But, it's disappointing if you're a Hurricanes fan, because you're hoping you're number one in the country. You're hoping, okay, this is a special team. But I think, there's some issues still with the offense. They didn't hit a whole lot against Florida. They didn't produce a lot of offense. You're missing your star shortstop who was injured the week before the start of the season, and you're trying to replace him in your lineup. That's not easy to do. So, but they're still a good baseball team, and I think as long as by the end of the year they're going upwards, not trending backwards, and I think they're going to have a really good shot in the college baseball playoffs to get back to Omaha, because they're a talented team. They're still a very talented team.
All right, so you're there at the Combine, also covering all the Canes that are coming in to the league. When you look at the 2 linebackers, Quarterman and Pickney, man, I thought Shaq really struggled in coverage, my man. I think he's going to end up being a third-day guy, because of that, because at best he's a 2-down linebacker. What are you hearing on behalf of him and Pickney?
Well, Pinkney, it turns out this week, Jason LaConforna reported this, but Pinkney had a torn labrum in his hip that apparently he played with his entire senior year. So that's going to affect him and the recovery of, so he's going to have surgery and everything and get better. But, he's a guy I think a team will still take a chance on, because he was a 4-year starter at Miami, because he was productive. I think he's got an NFL future because he is better in coverage than Shaq is. faster as well. But to me, Quarterman, he's going to have to run a good 40 on Saturday. That's going to be key for him because I think the knock on him, not just the fact that he can't cover, but that he's not as fast as he should be. And I think that's one thing he's trying to disprove. I wrote about that this week for The Athletic about Quarterman and the 8 guys who are coming up here. He wants to run a 4.68. I mean, that's not blazing fast, but I think for an inside linebacker, he can run a 4.68 in the 40 and show that, his toughness. I mean, that's one thing I think every NFL team values is a guy who is durable, fights through injuries, can stay healthy. That's one thing that I think will keep him in the league for a while. Will he be a starting middle linebacker in today's game? I think it's just going to be more about the right fit, which team really sees value in him. But I think I like Shaq a lot. I like his personality. I think he's a good kid. I think he's got a future in the NFL. But you're right. It's going to be a day 3 pick. No team is going to take him in the first 3 rounds for sure.
So who's the guy that people are talking about the most? Like, okay, this is a guy that really intrigues us. I'm thinking it might be Trayvon, right? The defensive end.
Trevon Hill, yeah, he's got the really spectacular pass rushing skills and abilities, and he played in the Senior Bowl and showed some flashes, I guess, throughout the practice out there. And I think of all the guys, people see maybe the most upside with him, but it's really just a matter of taste because you look at what all these people have been writing about all 8 of those prospects. Some people are saying DJ Dallas is going to be the best NFL player out of the group. I know some people think John Garvin, who's 6'4", 255 pounds, defensive end. He needs to add more weight to play in the league, but they think, okay, he's got the most upside. I don't know. I think it's just a matter of taste right now. I know this. None of these guys are going to go on the first or second day. I think they're all going to be, 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. And some guys may not get drafted at all, just like last year. We were all sitting there scratching our head. Gerald Willis had one tremendous season at Miami, but yet that still wasn't enough for him to get an NFL team to use a draft pick on him. So I think some guys will go on draft. I don't think all 8 will get picked. But some guys will get taken, and if they fall with the right team, then they have a chance.
Manny Navarro, of course, joins us every week for our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Go to Caneswear at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. They have the new Inter Miami jerseys. So if you want one, go get it. All kinds of stuff there. Let's see what else do we have? Dude, Arkeho. What's the latest with Arkeho after the stroke? I heard it wasn't a big stroke. How's he doing?
Yeah, well, listen, I haven't had a chance to start myself, but I've talked to a couple of his former players, including Calvin Harris, who does the podcast with me. And Calvin did talk to him over the phone, and I think the feeling is, he's going to probably need some surgery. I think he tore his hip up recently. Obviously, the stroke wasn't as maybe as grave as some people initially thought.
Still
he's
scary.
Going to be able to recover from that. Yeah. So he's not in great shape, man. Physically, obviously, there's going to be a lot of recovery and stuff that he has to do. But I think in terms of, threat of him dying or something terrible like that, I don't think it's to that extent. I think it's just a guy who's going to have to do a lot of rehab and hopefully, he gets better. I know he's very beloved in the Hurricanes community, and people love Art. They was there for all 5 championships, the one link between all 5 championships, and hopefully he gets better, man. But it's going to take time, and I think we'll have to see where he is in 6 months.
One of the best dudes you'll ever deal with is Arkeho, man. He's just a really, really good man overall. Definitely prayers for him and hopefully recovery there. I know, Manny, it's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, and we talk a lot of football normally, but there really isn't a lot going on. I don't know what to ask you football-wise. Is there anything recruiting
Spring football starts Monday.
Okay, but it hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? Then there's news. I mean, but outside of that, do we have any kind of news? I don't think there's really much on the Canes football front, right?
No, the only news, there's one position switch, and it's a kid who's a sophomore safety,
right?
Keontra Smith from Chaminade. He's an All-American. He's moving to striker, so that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, a striker position is like an extra safety anyway, but it's interesting that he was the one move that they made. Everybody else is pretty much in the same spot from when they were recruited. So Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of storylines as far as what to watch here over the spring.
Right.
You know, guys that are going to be competing for jobs and whatnot. But you're right. Yeah, unfortunately, it's the quiet period, man. You know, I spent about 2 hours.
And nothing recruiting wise, right? Nothing recruiting.
Yeah,
that's new.
Nothing recruiting that's new. I mean, I spent about 2 hours on the phone talking to those guys. The recruiting department wants a story I'm going to be doing for the Athletic soon, but. You know, as far as anything new and any new developments, not really. I mean, they're at nine commitments for the 2021 class. And, you know, March will be a busy month, though, because they're going to have all these teams coming down to visit practices. And my guess is they're going to, you know, probably land a quarterback commitment next month, and we'll see which one it is. But, yeah, it'll start to pick up here real quickly once practices get going.
All right, good stuff. The Wide Right podcast, my man. Tell them about it so they can lock it in.
Yeah, just really check it out. I tweeted it on Manny _Navarro on Twitter. It's the Wide Right Podcast. It's available on Apple for free downloads. I think it's on Spotify as well, and available at theathletic.com for subscription. And if you follow the link actually on Apple Podcasts, you can get 40% off. I tweeted it last night as well as far as the subscription to The Athletic. I always tell people to use that, man, because everybody's like, I don't want to pay for content. Well, we're always putting out sales, man. There's always 40% off this, 50% off that. You know, $4 a month anyway is the regular cost. So if you're going to pay 40% off, if you're paying $2 and change for a monthly subscription, I think it's worth it. So just check out the podcast. We went into previewing a lot of those storylines for spring football next week. Calvin Harris and I and my producer, Mike Zimmerman, who's a huge Hurricanes fan and very knowledgeable. We love just getting together and talking Canes, the three of us. So it's a good podcast previewing that and talking a little bit about the combine. So I would tell listeners to check it out.
There you go. And follow him on Twitter at Manny _Navarro. Are you enjoying the Heat action, by the way, last night? Did you enjoy that? I mean, dude, you lose to Cleveland, Minnesota, and Atlanta in the last week or 8 days or 9 days, whatever the hell it's been. Are you kidding me, bro?
Andre Fernandez, who covers the Heat for us, you know, I was on the phone with him quite a bit, and you know, looking at the stats over the last 26 games, Miami has the worst defensive rating in the league in the fourth quarter, and that's really what this all comes down to. Just blowing leads in the fourth quarter and just playing really piss poor defense in the fourth quarter is why they've lost 14 out of their last 26 games, and you know, nothing bothers Eric Spoelstra more than that. So I would fully expect that they will be practicing defense, and getting that right here before the playoffs begin.
I have my theory. You want to hear it?
Go ahead, give it to me.
They're coming back to reality. They were a team that has the stronger training camps than everybody else. They came out better prepared than everybody else, so they went 24-8. And they caught a lot of people by surprise, including Houston and Milwaukee, where they beat them without Jimmy Butler. So the excuses now, whether Jimmy's nicked up or Tyler Hero, don't count when you lose to sorry teams. The bottom line is they're evening out is what's happening in this season. They weren't a 3 or 4 or 5 seed. They're probably more of a 6, 7, or 8 seed. This is exactly like the fraudulent Panthers of a couple of years ago that had that 12-game winning streak in the middle of the season with Gallant, and that's what catapulted them into the playoffs, and then they got bounced. What's going on now is this is a young team that their bodies and their minds are not developed yet. And so Duncan and Tyler and Chris Silva and Tyler Hero, all these guys have to develop their bodies and their minds to play defense for 82 games in a brutal NBA season. And that to me is the whole thing. It's just balancing out. They're going to end up probably in a 6 or 7 seed because, well, maybe the Philly injuries might save their ass, but the Pacers will probably pass them up. And then they're going to end up a little higher than they should have, just like that Panthers team, because they started 24-8. But in the end, they're going to have the season that they were supposed to have. They're a bottom ringer playoff team with a first round exit. That's it. They're actually having the season they're supposed to have. It's really not. It looks terrible now because it's 14-16, or no, 12-14 in the last 26. It looks terrible, but it's really just balancing out. This is who they are. That's it.
Well, I mean, I think your greater point of they're just not one of the teams is more true. I think every team that isn't a first or second seed, they go through periods like this during the season where they play 500 basketball or sub 500 basketball. And I think you're right. I think, a lot of this is some of those young players not having played 82-game schedules, playing the college schedule, the grind of playing defense for 48 minutes.
Right.
That's what happens to a team that's as young as Miami is. And again, this is, to me, more than anything, a fun reminder to every fan that it really does take superstars. It takes guys that are transcendent players to be the best team in the league and to consistently win. And this team, yes, they have Jimmy Butler and yes, they have Bam Adebayo, two nice pieces. But again, can those guys alone carry a team to 50 wins, to 60 wins? No.
They don't have a closer. They don't have a closer, dude. That's what they have to acquire next year. Because if you do, let me tell you something, Manny, you wait 2 years from now when they have the cap space, Jimmy Butler's even worse by then. He's not even a really good three anymore at that point. Okay?
That's why I liked hearing Pat Riley said you have to take advantage of Jimmy's years now and not sort of wait for this youth to grow up type of deal.
That's right.
And I think the Heat, they're going to be aggressive. I mean, they're going to have some money next year, right? There's going to be some money coming off the books. They're going to be able to make some moves. This is more than anything. This is going to tell Pat Riley that, hey, we still got another move to make. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are not enough. We like the young guys. Maybe we keep one or two of them, but we're gonna have to move some pieces to really become a contender. And I think that's what's happening here.
No doubt. Follow him on Twitter at Manny Navarro, Manny_Navarro. More importantly, catch his work at The Athletic. He does an excellent job pumping out at least 400 columns a day, even with one arm. How's the arm?
I got some bad tendonitis, man. I'm gonna have to go see an orthopedic and see how bad the tears are. I think I got some tears in there, but for now, I'm rested up for a few hours in the sling and try not to sit in front of my computer all day. So
all right, so I'm gonna call George Rojas and bitch that he's had you write 800 articles a day, and that's why you've torn your arm out. Okay, let's just be honest now.
All right, anything to get me some vacation, man. I'm all for it.
It's all. You're such a BSer, bro. You'd be on vacation writing 10 articles a day. Okay, knowing your ass, you crazy bastard.
This has technically been sort of vacation. Instead, I'm writing Marlins, and doing baseball, and all this other stuff.
Basketball, everything, dude. Yeah. You're covering Jags. You're everywhere, bro. You're a stud.
Well, I appreciate that. I like being here in Indianapolis because at least here, the people from The Athletic see me and they're not asking me for a story. We're meeting, we're hanging out. So this is a little bit of a break.
Are they going to treat you to a steak, by the way, at St. Elmo's and a little shrimp cocktail?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where I might be headed here soon.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right. Well, I'll be
go grab something to eat.
I am so jealous you're going to have that shrimp cocktail and I can't, man. That sucks. But next year we'll be back on the combine trip. All right, my brother. Right. You're the best. Thank you for taking some time.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro, man. From The Athletic, covering the Miami Heat.